What's up, guys? It's Brent with Lykins Motorsports. I am on my way to Buffalo, Kentucky to Dale Mears Racing Engines. I've used his dyno for the better part of, I think, about 17 years. So this is where I choose to do all my dyno work. It's always best to use the same dyno over and over and over. That way you can pick up on subtle changes or parts changes or engine changes or something like that. Just hit a big bunch of bumps. But and they're just a big group of nice guys down there, and I like to hang out with them. We usually go out to lunch and hang out, talk about engines, that sort of thing. They're also a lot smarter than I am. So in the event that a problem comes along, it's good to have 3 or 4 sharp heads all thinking about how to solve the same problem. So very good. So I'm dynoing the 4.6 liter single overhead cam motor that I've had in my possession for several months. Project OJ, as you guys have come to know it, overhead cam junk. This was an engine that I bought from a core supplier out of Florida off of eBay. Not a very good transaction with that one. It's supposed to have been a 2004 GT motor with 40,000 miles on it. I get it here. It is clean. I will give it that. It's clean inside and outside for the most part. But the numbers come up to a 2002 Mustang GT, and I just don't have the confidence in this seller to know that it just had 40,000 miles. How many 40,000 mile engines does one person have sitting around? So hopefully we won't get into any bad scenarios down here with internal engine problems or whatever. So just a quick rundown. Factory bottom end, factory heads, factory cams. That's a hard habit to break. Victor intake, distributor conversion. We've got an 1 3/4 headers, electric water pump. So a little bit different than a factory 4.6 liter single overhead cam arrangement. I'm looking very much forward to seeing what it does on the dyno. I owned my first brand new vehicle that I ever bought right out of college, 2002 Mustang GT. So this engine would have been the exact same engine that car had in it. That engine from 2002 had 260 horsepower, and if I remember right, maybe like 320 pound-feet of torque. So curious to see what those little parts changes make on the dyno. This trip is to just get the thing on the dyno. I mean, we'll make some pulls hopefully, but the purpose of this trip, we're to just adapt it to the dyno. The dyno that I use has never had a modular Ford engine on it ever, so it comes with several different challenges. And if you look back through past videos that I posted, I had to hand make a lot of parts, including the dyno drive shaft hub adapter, and that sort of thing. So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes us to adapt the engine to the dyno. I've got 2 3/32 steel rear motor plates on it. That's what they usually use to bolt an engine to the dyno. You bolt a motor plate on and then bolt it to the frame of the dyno. So In theory, it should be straightforward. In reality, it probably will be a fiasco today. So the goal is to get it going, make some pulls. You guys made some guesses as to how much horsepower and at what RPM it was going to make. So we will know here shortly who got the closest and who wins the money, right? So we'll get that done. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the engine after today. My gut is leaning towards a cam swap, and just to see what kind of numbers we can get with some good old-fashioned custom cam grinds. In the long run, it's going to be completely redone. I've got pistons ordered from Molly. I got some aluminum R&R connecting rods. Mr. Joe's working on porting some trick flow heads. So I want to make some horsepower with it eventually. I'd like to see 2 horsepower per cube actually aspirated out of it. I don't think that's going to be too hard to do. But I like the RPMs. I like the way they sound. And we're going to be turning some RPMs with it. But for now, we got to get it on the dyno. So the next thing you'll see will be some photos of us doing some Kentucky engineering on getting this thing on the dyno. It wouldn't be surprising to me to see some various pairs of vice grips holding stuff to the dyno for now until we can get some motor mounts designed and that sort of thing. So it'll be interesting. So y'all hang tight, and we'll get this thing on the dyno. Again, the next thing you see will be some pictures, and then some monologue from me, and hopefully some videos. All right, take care. I'll see you in a few. All right, so I just showed you a couple pictures of the engine going on the dyno. It really was really easy to get it on the dyno. We actually just used the engine cradle and bolted the engine cradle to the dyno cart stand. So it was super easy. The headers bolted right up. Everything went really, really good. Didn't have any problems with the engine. Everything worked the way that it should have worked. And I was pleased with the results. So before we show a video, let's go over the results. We did not have the oil temp hooked up, so it was not, it was not at 300 degrees Fahrenheit oil temperature. We did run it at what normal water temperature would be. Oil pressure was good, kept going up throughout the pool. We kept it a little bit on the lean side. And we made 316 horsepower and 326 pound-feet of torque. And before you say, hey, it was still gaining, why did you quit pulling? This was mini pulls, okay? And it was stopping at 5,600 every time. So we had just gained basically 2 horsepower, and sometimes that's because of the way operator comes off the load at the end of the pull. That was with a 1-inch super sucker. We varied the timing. We tried 28, we tried 33, it liked 30. And that was with a Holley 650 double pumper carburetor. So 300, we're calling that 316. 326 pound-feet of torque. We're going to listen to the video, and then I'm going to go over who won the challenge, the guess the horsepower challenge. So somebody's going to be in for $100. So while we got it here on the engine stand, I think I have made up my mind to put some cams in it. Joe's still working on the heads. The pistons are not here yet. I'm in no hurry whatsoever to tear this thing down, and I'm really in no hurry to change cams either. I've got a couple of customer engine bills that need to get out of here. But the game plan is to, I've already got on the engine stand. I did do that when I got it out of the truck. But the game plan is to sorry, my phone was doing something stupid. The game plan is to get the valve covers off, timing cover off, balancer, pull the cams, and check our valve drop at top dead center. And that will allow me to know what I can get away with in terms of cam specs. So I think the factory 4.6 liter Mustang cam is in the low, very low 200s, 205, 210, something like that. I'll put that back up here when my brain starts working again. But I think the lift is like 5 1/4 or something like that on a 114 or 116 lobe set. So I think we can do quite a bit better. And I need to get my feet wet on messing with cams for this platform. And I've got an F8 camera coming up, so I need to get all the experience in the wet feet that I can. So 316 horsepower, 326 pound-feet of torque. Guys, we made 56 horsepower over what this thing was rated from the factory, with an intake manifold, with headers, electric water pump. So I think we did pretty good. All right, so let's watch the video of the dyno pull. So I had my phone in the dyno room. When iPhones detect loud noise, they kind of mute it, so some of the sound goes away. I think I'm sorry for that, but it sounded good for what it was. But you'll get to hear a pull. All right, here we go. Alright, so short time ago we did a guess the horsepower challenge with this engine, and the winner I said would win $100. The closest, without going over, on both horsepower and the peak horsepower RPM. So I know that in that video I said it had to be in the increments that I showed on that sheet, which were 250 RPM increments. For some reason, I don't know if it's because of the dyno change here in the last couple months, but it didn't come out in 250 RPM increments. So I'm going to show a little grace on that. But I'm going to scroll down through here and show you the closest. So I've got two guys that I've got in my mind, and the first is Mr. Ted Robbins 166. He guessed 312 horsepower at 5600 RPM, so he was dead on with the RPM, and he was under by just 4 horsepower, so pretty close. Mr. Eddie FE 428. He was at 314 horsepower at 5,500. So he was actually closer in horsepower by 2, but he was 100 RPM shy on the peak horsepower RPM. Those 2 dudes are the closest that I can find. There was like 160 some comments that I had to filter through. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to split the pot with these 2 guys, and each of these guys, if they can prove that they are subscribers to the channel, will get a $50 credit or PayPal or however they want. So that's the way that we will approach that. Alright guys, so I hope that this has been fun for you all. It is something new for me, and to be straight up honest, with all the 347s and 363s and 445s, I need something different in my engine building life, and this was pretty cool. So it gives me some experience with some new engine platforms. It'll give me some new tools in my toolbox, and some new data to pull from. So I hope that you guys have found this interesting. Great horsepower from this factory engine that's just 281 cubic inches. So stay tuned for more about this engine. Give me a week or 2 to get some customer stuff out of the way, and then we're going to start pulling the valve covers in the front of this engine off, and taking some measurements so that we can back into a new camshaft. But stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out and you don't show up 3 months from now saying, hey, did you ever do a follow-up to this? You don't want to be that guy. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment, and thank you guys for all your support. Don't forget the Patreon channel where you can donate so that you can help me recoup from days like this where I have to spend several $100s in dyno time and driving and losing shop time here. So all that helps me. Hope you guys are having a good week. Have a good weekend. Take care. I'll see you soon.